Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Hello, Buckeye fans. Welcome to the Gilmer's Coaching Show. I'm Jeff Rash, and this is the head football coach and athletic director of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Coach Alan Metzel. And then there were eight. And Gilmer Buckeyes happened to be one of those eight. Mm-hmm. There are 8 teams left vying for the ultimate state championship in a couple of weeks, and we are one of them. So that's always good. Anytime you're playing at Thanksgiving, or past Thanksgiving, you had a good season.
That's right. You know, that was the standard years ago when we were trying to get the program going, was you got to play on Thanksgiving. You know, that was the goal to reach out. And now that's the standard. And so now that's just what's acceptable, and now it's time to move on to where we should be.
The next place.
That's right.
14 years in a row, the Gilmer Buckeyes have been to the third round of the playoffs at least. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how many that includes for the fourth round, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And so congratulations to you, Alan. Honestly, in your first year, a lot of times you've got new coaches in here. Mm-hmm. And I know the program's the same because you've been the offensive coordinator here for many years, so you didn't change a lot of stuff. You've changed a few things, but for the most part, it's the same program.
Correct.
But it's a different vibe, a different feel. You've got a lot of young coaches in here. So for you guys to be here,
it's pretty exciting.
Going into the fourth round,
yeah,
that's pretty huge.
We're revved up.
And how about PG not being there? We just assumed all year long, fourth round's Buckeyes, PG. That's going to be who goes on and ultimately, hopefully, gets to the state championship game if we can get past game 5. Mm-hmm. But were you shocked?
I would say I really felt like PG was the heavy favorite. That's not any statement against Cattle Mills. It's just, PG's gone to 3 straight state championship games.
Yeah.
So when you have a team like that, that's hard to topple, which is a credit to Cattle Mills. They had to make the plays. They went in. They did what they needed to do. They got some breaks, that helped, and they were able to upset them. So. Does it shock me? No, it doesn't shock me. Was it unlikely? Yes.
I was floored. Todd and I were calling the game, and we were getting updates. Fans were sending us, text updates, and Eric was looking on his phone, and we're trying to get it to refresh, because we were getting excited, and then somebody would say, oh man, PG went back up on top. Oh no, that and it came down to the last 20 seconds or so. I think
right there at the end of the game.
We're going to talk about that, our next opponent in a moment, but. I thought it was a good game. I thought for the second week in a row we played a team that was probably outmanned athletically, physically, but played with everything they had. I thought both these last two teams, Godley and Sunnyvale, both well coached,
very well coached,
well prepared, executed well, very disciplined, and they played as good as I think they could play with what they had. That's my opinion.
Yeah. When you play a team like that, you're going to have to bring a good game because they don't mess up. They are going to stay at a certain level, and they're tough. They don't make mental mistakes, those kind of things, and so. We knew we were in for a tough game, and they gave us one.
It was, and I thought I know they had 2 weeks to prepare because a lot of people may not remember, but they had, because of Mahia had a COVID scare,
correct.
They forfeited, and so Sunnyvale had 2 weeks to prepare for Gilmer.
They did.
And I thought they did a good job. Defensively, I thought their strategy was pretty good. They played 3 safeties, kept the ball in front of them. They wanted to take away the deep routes. They've been watching film.
Sure.
They know the go routes, the post routes, and they wanted to take away. They doubled up on Dylan pretty much the whole time. Just said, you're not going to catch anything. Of course, they couldn't stop little brother. Because you can't double team everybody, right?
That's right.
And so we had some good things happen with Mason Hurt, Marche. We're going to look at some of that here in a moment. But what did you see in this game? Here we are. We're game 13, headed into 14. So I always ask you, what did you see you liked and what didn't you like? So let's start with the stuff you liked.
Things I liked, like we said, they came out and did some different things than they've done all year. And offensively and defensively, they were doing some things, breaking tendencies and so forth. And in talking to Coach Edwards, as far as our defense did a great job of adjusting on the fly, adjusting as the game went. They did their move, we had counter move. They did their move, we counter move, that kind of thing. And so most of their yardage were in 2 drives. You know, they had a little over 300 yards and on the game, and over 150 of it was on 2 drives.
Yeah.
So those 2 drives, we had to kind of tweak some things and tighten some stuff up offensively because they came out in a different look. We were having to go through, check down to different progressions, make sure we were reading through on certain things. I thought Brandon did a great job of taking care of the ball. We had 0 turnovers. They had 3. That was big.
Yeah.
You know, a game like that, you win the turnover battle, you have a really good chance of winning the game. So those were things I was really pleased with. Things I wasn't as pleased with, there were a little bit of sloppiness on penalties. Some, you know, I know there was a lot of people saying, you know, officials this, that, and other, and some were things that I disagreed with. Some of it was us, though, and we've got to tighten those things up. You know, we've got to not be sloppy at times. The further we advance, the smaller that margin of error is.
Yeah, I thought, you know, Joe Dodd's a good friend of ours, and he's very objective, you know, when it comes to football, and he was very complimentary of throughout the entire game of the job that Fort Worth crew did, and he was pleased. He came up to me after the game, in fact, and he said, "Man, I hope we get those guys again."
Right. Well, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. There you go.
So if you guys run into Joe, ask him about that.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed that crew. So very complimentary.
Got
So we'll just leave that there.
Sure.
It was a great game, though. I mean, it was another game. It
was.
didn't disappoint. Obviously, third round of the playoffs, you're still playing. You're pretty good.
Right.
You're
No
there
doubt.
for a reason.
They're a very solid team.
They are, but boy, it really shows you kind of what we have. You know, it shows you the weapons on the field. You know, if you can't go to this one, you go to this one. I thought Haynes did a great job
Ashton
coming in.
Haynes,
You know,
can't say enough about him. You know, here's a guy who played JV all year.
yeah,
And
sophomore.
we knew, you know, we've got a young man who's really talented.
Yeah.
But to have to, because of injuries and people, we were having to play a lot on defense, you know, to go to where you're carrying the load,
Yeah,
that's heavy.
yeah, he was the
And-
back for the
and
game.
He handled it.
No,
Went
he did
over
well.
100 yards.
Yeah.
You know, so tremendous job on his part.
Yeah, I
really
thought
proud
he did a
of
good
him.
job, and he's a good kid.
He's a great
I
young man.
like watching good kids like that.
Yes.
Have
Great
that
demeanor,
kind of success.
coachable,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he's a future name. You're going to know
People
that
will
name.
need to know Ashton Haynes.
Yeah,
no
it's
doubt.
a big name.
Yes.
So why don't we go to the
Sure.
screen and we'll start looking at a few highlight plays. We've got 11 plays to go through today. In fact, speaking of Haynes, let's jump down to the video and we'll take a look at one of his first it's his second touchdown of the
Second
season.
one in high school,
Yeah.
you bet on the varsity. Let's take a look here. This is on the first drive. We'd gotten down inside the 15. We're honestly, some of the movement here, it's not as disorganized as it looks. We're moving people around to affect their defense. Here's Ashton. I've got him highlighted. Now, I'm going to highlight here Matt, our inside lineman, and watch how, as we follow into the play, you're going to watch how they move them out of the way, and then you're going to see Matt Burton slide up inside and hit the linebacker, and then there's the hole and the touchdown. Really well done up inside.
Just good execution all the way around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why
Absolutely.
you wish you could execute every play that way.
Every play.
You'd have a lot more touchdowns if we could do that every play, right?
We would. If we were that clean every play, we'd score a whole lot.
So this next one is a defensive play.
That's
and
right.
This is, you want to talk about putting the matchup. You did a lot of man-to-man.
A lot of man in this
Went
game.
out of zone into man.
Mhm.
You put Dylan on their stud.
We did. We felt like Dylan, with his athleticism, we were just going to get up. He's got great size. He gets up in the face of one of their best players, and we were going to try and just take him out of their offensive scheme by him getting up and bump and run with him, and you can see he runs right with him. They would have had to have thrown an absolutely perfect throw to have hit that. Great job by Dylan, and it just shows where, you know, when you have somebody you're playing, you may have to step up and do a different role, which is what Dylan did in this game. And a lot of times that goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
You know, great job on his part.
He did. Now this next one is an example of, you know, again, putting good pressure on the quarterback, force him into an uncomfortable situation, and ultimately throws a pick.
Absolutely. It's a sprint out by design, and then he tries to throw back across the field. That's always dangerous for a quarterback. And we've got Jose.
Especially when you got four guys standing there.
Correct. Jose Hernandez cuts under the throwing into the throwing lane, picks off the pass, gets us the ball, we're on their side of the field. The more times we get a chance to have the ball, better chance we have to score.
Here's another defensive deal. I thought they did a great job when they pinned them down here inside that goal line.
Right.
I mean, they really
Right.
played up here.
They're
I thought
putting
the defensive
pressure.
line did a great job.
Absolutely. They're getting great penetration. You can see I've got the whole line highlighted there. Watch them with their quarterback trying to get up inside. Our D-line just presses the line of scrimmage backwards, and he's lucky he didn't get a safety on that play.
Yeah, it was. The gap, they did a good job of really filling the gaps a lot
Absolutely.
during that game.
They did.
At critical times, I thought they did a good job of doing that.
They did.
The next one, I thought it was kind of early on, but this was a key pass, big yardage,
Exactly.
kind of set us up and got the momentum going. And this is Brandon to Mason.
Absolutely, and it's we're like second and 16, something like that. And so we're going to bring Brandon outside the pocket. We're going to let him roll out a little bit. And Mason's running a comeback route, and Brandon just threw that one on a line. I mean, really a laser there. Hits Mason underneath the corner, and Mason does a great job picking up the yards after catch, getting us down to inside the 5-yard line. So you can see Mason now. I've got him highlighted, and you see how he drives the DB deep, breaks it off, makes the catch, and then the run
Puts
after
a move
catch.
on him.
He does.
Yeah, he does. Did a great job there.
We end up scoring on the next play.
Yeah, and then of course, kind of shocked everybody. You go for 2 here. Can you explain why you did that?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes you do it if you're down 2 or whatever to try and catch up. But there's a psychological thing when you stretch the score up to where they have to score and get 2. And so, it's not something we do arbitrarily. When you feel like you've got leverage on a team, which we felt like we did on this play, then we have several different things we can do. And I thought it was an opportunity. We had just gotten the momentum. We'd had this drive. They were breathing hard, catch them off guard, and get in the end zone. And Dron did a great job of getting to the sideline. Yeah. Great blocking on the outside. Matt Malden, Taylor Neely, and Jett Jones, and then Dron, of course, runs it into the end zone.
Yeah, good, gutsy call. This was a Rowan. I thought this was a Rowan on the seam. Rowan had a great game.
Great game.
They took away Big Brother's game because they were ganging up on him.
Right.
But boy, they left Rowan to run all over the field.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, you can't double everybody. They're trying to play the outsides with 2 people, which leaves the middle open. And so here's when we put Rowan on a seam here. Brandon throws a pass in perfect timing here, gets over the top of the linebacker and in front of the safety, and drops it on him here. So I've got him circled up here. You can see where he is. And so watch how he's going to push past the linebacker, and right now is when Brandon's throwing the ball. He's not there yet, but he's putting it where he's going to be. Great catch, and then super job holding on with the hit.
Yeah, just a good execution all the way around. Now this next one, probably the play of the game, because I couldn't believe Marche came up with this TD.
Amazing catch on Marche's part. Great throw by Brandon. It was almost like a handoff from 40 yards out. Drops it right over his shoulder. Marche, incredible concentration on the play. So you can see here, he's got great speed. We felt like we could get over the top.
Yeah, but double coverage.
Yeah, the safety was in just enough where we felt like they'd have trouble getting to Marche. He actually did a really good job of closing it, but because the pass was so good, great catch by Marche.
Right on the money, wasn't
you
it?
Bet. You bet.
This next one was the second pick. This was Jaden in the end zone at a pretty critical time.
Pretty
actually.
critical. I would say Marche's catch and Jaden's pick here were the 2 plays of the game.
Yeah.
To me, those were just critical. So here they are. They get down. They're inside the 25, and they're going to try and throw the ball in the end zone. Jay's got him one-on-one. He's on an island. Plays great position. Stays up into the guy's body. Wedges him. Picks off the pass. We get the ball in the 25. Now we can work the clock. So that was big.
This next one's something you don't see a lot of. In fact, I think we may have only had maybe 2 this year. A safety.
Safety on
Luke
them.
Watson coming.
They were trying to use the hard count quite a bit. Our guys were being disciplined here. We don't jump. Well, the center snapped it, and Luke was right there to jump on top of the quarterback. We get 2 points right there off the bat. That's big.
Easy 2.
Easy 2.
And then this last one was Jett Jones, which, man, the last few games, Jett's played good all year.
Yes.
But, you said this a while ago, nobody
Gets more out
gets
of what
more
they
out
have.
of what they have. I mean,
That's right.
Jett, I don't know how tall Jett is. I always say something exaggeratory. He's probably 5. Is he my height?
He's probably 5'6".
5'6". So he's an inch or two shorter than me,
Mhm.
and probably doesn't weigh 160 pounds.
Probably around there somewhere.
And he's playing
So-
linebacker, and he plays like he's 6'4", 240. I mean, the guy is everywhere. I think 2
Absolutely.
weeks ago he had like 19 tackles.
Correct. 23 in one game.
Yeah, I
another
mean,
game.
he's
Yeah.
he's everywhere. I mean, this guy is good.
He really
He is good.
He is.
I'm trying to think of a better linebacker that we've had in recent years, honestly.
Well, he's being coached by one that was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was
he is.
Daniel.
Yeah,
Daniel died. And Daniel's got him going really well, and he's taken to reading his keys, and so as a result, he's usually where the ball is. And so here he is in this last drive where they're trying to come back and tie the game, and he's right there, meets the guy in the hole, creates the fumble. Maro Verona jumps on the ball.
He's
and
also had a good season.
He really has.
Yeah,
And so finalizes their threat. We could just run the clock out pretty much.
and that's something. So let's go to this next week.
Okay.
So you got Caddo Mills. Now,
Yes.
obviously, Caddo Mills no slouch. They beat Pleasant Grove.
they're ranked. They were ranked 7 before they beat Pleasant Grove.
Yeah. So I mean, the guys they're no slouch. They're a good team. They got
Score
a
a
good
lot of
size,
points. Mm-hmm.
good offense.
Yes.
Got a deadly quarterback.
Very much
And
so.
I think somebody said he was like 6 foot, 180 pounds. Could scramble, can throw.
Very fast.
He's just good.
He's
Is he
good.
the best quarterback we've seen this year?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
he'll be a challenge to contain.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you're gonna see a
Well,
good ball game.
It'll be a great ball
Good
game.
ball game. So
That's
you've
right.
got some footage here,
Yes.
and so let's load up the footage
Okay.
and take a look.
Okay. This is a little picture of Caddo Mills' offense. You're going to see how versatile their quarterback is. He can throw it. He can run it. Here he is throwing a go route to one of their outside receivers. Pretty dangerous, dropping the ball on people, and these guys are pretty tall. You know, this receiver, he's probably 6'2", 6'3", good sized guy. But it's also when they send those receivers downfield and then he runs it. That's one of the most dangerous things they do. So you're going to see him here, watch him just bring the ball down, and then when he gets out in space, he eats up yardage. I believe in the game that I'm showing you right here, he ran for 217 yards.
A quarterback.
Quarterback did.
Yeah. When have you ever heard of it? I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot, and there was multiple games. I think he had 176 rushing in another game. So I mean, it's not like a fluke either.
Mm-hmm.
He does this regularly. So you're going to see here again. He drops back, brings the ball down, finds his blockers. And it's almost like he's just kind of like we talk about Rowan when he runs. He's just kind of he's under control. Nothing is making him panic. And he just picks his way, and he's fast enough to burst out of there when he needs to. So here he is again. Again, it's quarterback draw.
Look at that hole they opened up.
Yeah, they do a good job because you've got to cover all their pass through.
Yeah, he's got some speed. Look
He
at
can
him down the
outrun
field.
people.
He's fast.
And he does this against everybody he plays. He's the real deal. So here's I think this is another one of his runs. No, this is a deep pass here. So you're going to see him drop back. So you've got to get your guys back and cover. Here he is over the top on a deep post.
Just drops one in.
Right. So, they've got some weapons. There's our defense is going to have to play really well. And not only be able to rush him, but they've got to contain him. They can't let him just pick a lane and run through. So those are some of the things that we'll need to be prepared for. I'll get one more look here. Here he is when he takes it again, just scrambles out, extends the play, finds an open guy. It's hard to cover that long. And that's one of the things that he's really good at. They'll just have a fairly simplistic pass route, but then he extends the play and people break off and gets into scramble drill and he dumps it on a guy who's open.
Yeah. Well, he's a lot like our quarterback.
He is.
Yeah,
He's talented.
very similar. So it's going to be a great game. So, folks, if you can come to this game, Caddo Mills brings a lot of people. They had the stands absolutely full this last game, and so they make a lot of noise and bring a lot of energy. So if there's any way you can get out, we're going to be playing at what time again?
7 o'clock, Texas A&M Commerce up in Commerce. We'd love to have you there
On
if
Friday.
you can. You bet, on this Friday.
On Friday, okay. So if you can travel and you want to come out and watch a great ball game, round 4, you won't be disappointed. It'll be worth the price of admission for sure. And if you don't, just make sure that you watch us online and root from your living room. So Coach, congratulations on being in round 4. That's
Thank you.
incredible. That's a great first season. Good start.
Thank you.
We expect it every year from now on.
Got it.
So,
Okay. No pressure.
No, you've already set
I'll
the
worry
standard.
about that later.
You set the standard.
I
Set
got
the
you.
bar, brother.
I got you.
That's how it works around here.
There you go.
So, but we are very proud for you
Thank
and
you.
your entire coaching staff, and
Thank
so
you.
make sure that
Appreciate it.
they know how much we appreciate what they do as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, so guys, you heard him. It's going to be 7 o'clock Friday night in Texas A&M Commerce, and so try to come if you can. If you can't, watch us on TV. We'll see you there. Go Buckeyes.
Go Buckeyes.